Hi, I'm Jody Davis. In this So Easy video, I'm going to show you how to use Fons & Porter's triangle trimmers. Now, I use mine a lot, so they're not in their original packaging. These are great little tools. What they do is they trim off the pointy ends of triangles, so it makes matching very easy. Now, when you're just doing triangles to triangles, it helps them to align properly and not to get caught in the feed dogs of your sewing machine, so they're great for that. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to use them to make square in a square blocks. That means that you're sewing 4 triangles around a square, and that can be problematic because how do you match it up? Well, these little babies will help you. Let me show you how. The triangle trimmer does 2 things. First, there's this one that makes these kinds of triangles. What you're doing is you're adding one to the side of a triangle, and there you can see the stitching. And so you can see what that's going to do, but that's not what we're doing today. Today we're making a square and a square, so we're going to be adding the long side of the triangle to one side of our square, and then we'll be going around and doing the other. But let me show you this in the fabric. I'm starting with a square, and to make a square and a square, I'm going to just add triangles all the way around. And so now you can see how this makes a square within a square. Now, my problem here is, let me take all this away so you can just see one edge. My problem is that if I go to sew this, I have a terrible time figuring out where that goes. I mean, I can press this in half with my fingers to get that line. I can press this one in half and then try to match those in order to sew. But that's pretty fussy when there's a better, easier way. Oh, and the other problem is when you go to sew this a lot of times, because you have this leading edge here, it gets caught in the sewing machine and you end up with a glob, and that's no fun. So I have a little solution, and that is this nifty little triangle trimmer. So this is how you use the tool. You just set it on top of your triangle, and see how I'm going to just move this over, and I'm lining the edge with the edge of the fabric. And then all I'm going to do is cut that little piece off. I'll do the same for the other side. This is a small triangle, so it almost meets, but you can use it for any size, because really what you're doing is you're cutting away that corner so that your seam allowances are perfect. So now let me put my square back in, and I'm going to put my cut little triangle on there, and look what's happened. It's going to match up perfectly. See how the blunt end is right there on the blunt end of the square. It matches right up with the edge of the square on both sides. And now what you're going to do is when you sew, you're going to sew straight across here on your 1/4, and when that opens up, it's going to be absolutely perfect, so that you don't have any of those tails sticking out. You don't have to trim it before you go to put on the other one, and you'll have a perfect square in a square block. Here's my block all finished and pressed. It's a perfect square in a square thanks to our triangle trimmer. For more videos like this, visit FonsandPorter.com.